Hey, this is Sam from RecipeDisk.com and the voice behind the popular Kitchen Gadgets podcast, Magic with Gadgets. Have you ever seen the film Pulp Fiction? It's one of our favourites and we've seen it many times over the years. One scene that always amuses us in it is when they are talking about the McRoyal with cheese. And they discuss that they don't call it a quarter pounder with cheese and that in France it's called a McRoyal with cheese. Well, let me fill you in on a little secret. It is also called a McRoyal with cheese in other continental Europe countries, including where we live in Portugal. You know, it's called this because they run on metrics, so they have no idea what a quarter pounder actually is. But it's the same burger and it tastes just as delicious. And we'll be showing you today how to reheat a McRoyal with cheese in the air fryer. As well as this, we have more than 1,000 kitchen gadget recipes over at RecipeDisk.com. From air fryer recipes to instant pot recipes to slow cooker recipes to soup maker recipes, plus bread maker recipes and many others. I recommend you head over there to check it out after watching this video and find your perfect recipe. Okay, when it comes to reheating food, one thing I get asked a lot about is the food safety. Can you actually reheat this food in the air fryer? Is it going to give you food poisoning? And what you need to know before reheating? Well, the number one thing I would suggest that you consider is that when you buy food from an establishment such as McDonald's, Burger King, KFC and such like, has the food already been reheated when you purchased it? Because quite often during quiet times, food's left out and it's often needed to be reheated. If this is, say, a chicken burger, this will give you a higher chances of getting food poisoning because the chicken has already been reheated at McDonald's. So then when you reheat it again, it's past the rule of meat should only be reheated once. So that's something to bear in mind when you've bought fast food and you want to reheat it. So best to get the food from McDonald's during busy times when you know it's not being sat around for hours. Another thing to consider is how long the food's been left out from the point of you purchasing it to the point of when you're reheating it. As in, I would never recommend reheating rice that's been left out on a barbecue or at a potluck because it's more likely to be high in risk of food poisoning. So just be careful. And if in doubt and you do want to reheat food and that's your plan ahead of time, is to aim for vegetarian food over meat food. So for the McRoyal with cheese, as we call it in Portugal, we have them still in our McRoyal bag. And in case you're wondering, they really are the same as a quarter pounder. Like I said, it's just in France, Spain, Portugal, Italy and such like. They work on metrics, so they have no idea what a pound of something actually is. So as you can see, they're just the classic quarter pounders and they're a brilliant size for reheating in the air fryer because they're not too big and they're not too small and they are just fantastic for a quick reheat. You can do one, of course, at once, or you can do two like we are doing. And then you just place them into the air fryer basket like that. And then it's time to set the time and temp. So first of all, turn your air fryer on. You're looking for a temperature of 160 Celsius, which is the same as 320 Fahrenheit. And then you are looking for a cook time of 3 minutes. And then press start. And we beat. Now the cheeseburgers have done the bit with the burger top side up, it's time to turn them over. And as you can see the cheese has wonderfully melted on them as well, which is fantastic because you don't get that when you originally buy them. And now it's time just for another 2 minutes on the other side. We're setting the same time and temp, 160 Celsius, and a cook time of 2 minutes. And we beat. Oh wow, them burgers smell absolutely delicious and I can't wait to tuck in and try them. But what I recommend you do first is that you double check to make sure it's piping hot in the centre. So just chop into it. Put your finger down the middle and you want to check to see if it's piping hot. It isn't, so we're putting them back in for a little bit longer. I'm putting that one back in or that way up because otherwise some of the filling will fall out if I turn it over. So we're just going to put it on for a couple more minutes and then see how they're doing. And we've baked. And wow, those burgers are actually sizzling, so you can tell that they're absolutely properly cooked now. You know, it's kind of too hot to handle. And then if you put a knife through your burger in the middle to check, and it is hot. So now they're ready for serving. So what I recommend you do is you find your box and you load your burger back in, and then it's perfectly ready for serving, and you've got a reheated McRoyal. So this is the burger chopped in half. I'll tell you now that if you chop the burger in half, it will speed up the cooking time. So if you've got a really big burger that you want to reheat in the air fryer, chop it into quarters before you air fry it, and it will save you time of constantly checking on it. And as you can see, you know, it keeps its positioning. You're not left with loads of cheese that's come out or lost your gherkins or anything. It just stays nice and solid together, and it's just perfect for a quick reheat. And it's great for if you've travelled with your McDonald's and, you know, it's got cold on the way back, or you've got leftovers the next day. Thanks so much for watching, and don't forget to subscribe to the RecipeDisk family. You can find us on Twitter, Facebook and Pinterest. We also have a weekly newsletter at RecipeDisk.com/newsletter, where we share with you our latest kitchen gadget recipes, what we're cooking in the Milner kitchen, and so much more. As well as this, we recommend that you subscribe to our YouTube channel, and then whenever we have a new video, you will be the first to know. And if you want to know about all our future videos, then I recommend you hit the bell for instant notifications. But even better, we now have a podcast. It's called Magic with Gadgets. Simply search Magic with Gadgets on your favourite podcast player and you'll find us there.